Hey everyone, Mac here playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, and we're doing all of the pro goals. If you've completed all of the objectives and medals in the regular careers, you've now unlocked pro goals, which are necessary for 100% completion. Generally speaking, I'll be skipping over the platinum score requirements as I think you should be good enough to handle those on your own. Now we'll be going in order from level to level. Foundry starts with the combo, which is pretty easy. Then we'll need to also double kickflip the Stomp the presses gap. You'll want to do the grind all the way on the outside corners to get the press in the middle to move up. And then once you do that, just do a double kickflip with the gap in the combo. Next, we'll do the Froggy grind all the way down the Helix room. The Froggy grind is a special move you'll want to map to a skater. If you're playing as Tony Hawk, I believe it is left, right, and grind, but you'll need your special meter full. You should have unjammed the valves, which will open up the generator room, get all the way to the top of the Helix, and hold the Froggy grind all the way down to get the nausea gap to unlock this. I think you are allowed to use mods and the perfect rail mod if you really want. Next up, we're going to collect all 5 of the forged Tonys. There's one directly above you from where you spawn. If you then go through onto the half pipe, you can find one by one of the workers here right in the middle. And then from this one, what we can do is spine transfer over the foreman, and that should get you your third one. Wally to Wallride to Wally up to the secret area. There's a quarter pipe up here in order to get your fourth. And then this one can be a little bit tricky, so there's a little bit of a cut in the editing. But if you throw yourself onto this rail right here with a decent amount of speed, you can grab your 5th one. We then move on to the Canada Pro goals. We're going to go to the area where you can interact with the generator to start your combo. Surprisingly, this one actually took me longer than a lot of the other ones. Just grind the rail, you'll have to transfer from rail to rail, and then end out in a manual. You do have to land the combo for it to count. For the next one, you'll need to do a Bluntside with the Videogame minecart ride gap. So for a Bluntside, it's down, down, grind, and you'll have to do it on the far rail here. You don't have to start in a Bluntside, but you need the gap and the Bluntside to happen at the same time. And if you do that and land it, you should grab this one as well. Next, you'll need to pull a Stiffy, which is to the right and grab move. So it's the tweaked out version of the indie. And you'll need to do it with the over the hill gap, which is right here. You'll have to push over the hill, get the gap and the Stiffy in the same combo, and you're done. Last but not least, for Canada, you have to bring Peter his Thermos. So to do that, you'll want to first grab the Thermos, which is located in the car park at the very bottom at the back of the red car. And then Peter is located on the far end on the opposite side of the Thermos, and you'll just have to go to him. I'm not sure if the Thermos can melt or if this is timed. I just kind of skated straight there, pretty straightforward, and it worked. Maybe there's a 30-second timer that I didn't even realize, but I doubt it. Deliver it to him on this ramp right here. Next, in Rio, you'll need to do the Christ Air and the Over the Bank gap at the same time. The Christ Air is the tweaked out version of the airwalk, directional down and to the right B, and then press B again to tweak it out and get the Over the Bank gap at the same time, and then finish out with a good enough score to get platinum. We move on to Suburbia, get into the pool area at the back right in front of yourself at the start, and then C to O, and for the M, you do want to grind the ground or else you won't have enough speed to carry yourself to the last O. Next, we have to manual around the entire cul-de-sac. Just get a lot of speed, and preferably build your special meter as well. Start a manual near the stop sign, go all the way around on the outer edge. You will get a notification when you're halfway there if you're doing it correctly. And then when you get to near the pylons, you will get the manual, the sack gap. Next up, you'll need to do a pizza guy, which is a special move. So go to your trick list and equip the pizza guy grab trick into an easy to do slot. Fill up your special meter, and then you'll have to wait for the door to open in the haunted house. Pull your pizza guy while you're in the abyss and land it to grab this one. Last but not least, for Suburbia, we have to impress the 5 skaters. You have to land a combo of at least 5,000. I try to go for 10,000 just to be safe, but that's a very easy combo to do. We can find one skater in the trailer park area, another skater in the spooky bowl in the back of the house. We can find a third skater on the top of the haunted house, which is where the Iron Galaxy logo is. You can pull a quick 900 in a lot of these areas. You don't even need to really do a combo. As long as the 900 lands, they should be impressed. I always like to do it end it in a revert just in case to get some extra points. We'll then go over towards the backyard where the skate park is. We'll do a quick 900 here as well. And then we can spine transfer or just skate out to the construction zone for the last one. It's right at the end of this grind, so just make sure you land the combo. You can do them all at once if you're really good, by the way. We then move on to the airport combo. Go to the very bottom of the airport towards the left, and in the first gate on your left, you'll have to do the C grind. You'll have to do a wall ride and then a wally to a higher rail to get the O and the M, another wally and another wall ride to get the B and the O. Next, you need to do a combo from the start of the airport to the end of the airport, and this will trigger a gap that's called start to finish. I think the sooner you start or the earlier you start, the earlier the gap finishes. So it's not one of those things where you want to try to like maximize the amount of time you don't manual at the beginning. And you will want to go through the top ceiling section when you're in the middle. It's very hard to carry your speed with a manual, so you want to grind those lights. And make sure you land the combo once you reach the end. For the next one, you'll want to do a 540 shove it, which is down, flip, flip, flip. That's the third variant of the pop shove it, and you'll need to do that while you get the gate transfer gap, which is this gap right here. I almost got it on my first try, just didn't press the flip trick enough times, only pressed it twice. But if you get both of those, it's as good as done as well. Last but not least, we'll collect the 5 passports. For this, we'll want to go through the X-ray machine to end up in the helicopter section. Here you'll be able to find your first passport. Go down to the luggage carousel. If you grind it on the outside, you'll get your second passport. Time isn't really a big issue here. I'm going to try to go as fast as possible so I can show you as much as possible. But for the third passport, we're going to have to make a little bit of progress here. Fail on my grind there. But as you make your way down to the gates, you'll want to go to the left-hand side, and you'll be able to find your passport on this quarter pipe right here, gate C1. So grab that, and then we'll skate over to the opposite side of the gates, and behind the board with the flights, you can find your fourth passport. You'll want to do a pretty slow grind there. And for the last passport, you'll want to grind on the outside here, and you should notice it on some light fixtures. You can grind the light fixtures, or you can just kind of skate at it if you want. Skater Island is super easy. You need to do a lip trick near the pirate. So the pirate is obviously going to be on the pirate ship, and the lip trick you need to do is pretty much right at like the focal point of what is a pirate ship. So as long as you get it here, you should get the lookout below gap. You might not be able to see the pirate, but if you land that lip trick, you're done. We move on to Los Angeles. I think the combo here is probably one of the 5 hardest ones, which isn't that bad, to be honest. From the beginning, you're going to want to gain some speed here. Do a little bit of a gap into a revert manual to get the C and the O. You'll get on some rails for the M and the B, and then you'll have to jump to the left to get the last O. For the next one, you're going to want to do a Monty or Smith grind, which is diagonally down and to the right plus Y. Whether you do a Monty or a Smith depends on your stance, and you're going to want to do it during the wire ride-in gap right here. There's a few options. This one's the easiest. Once you land, it goes. Next, we're going to wall ride the Passin gas app. You're going to want to go towards the fire truck. Here, if you do a little bit of a grind and then a jump into the gas station sign and wall ride it, you're done. This one's super easy. Last but not least, for Los Angeles, we have to get all 5 of the Seagull locations. Grind up to the left-hand side tower. Grind around the bend to get your first out of 5. Transfer over to the highway and then up to the top line here for 2 more. 2 out of 5. If we come down here to the billboard, you can grind the edge for the 3rd. And then for the 4th, we're going to skate towards the middle of the park. And we're going to grind this purple rail. And this is going to take us all the way around the wire ride-in gap we just did. That's 4 out of 5. And then for the final one, we're going to go to the half pipe here where we did the transfer for the gap, but we're going to grind the other way for 5. Next, we're going to need to do Tokyo, and we're going to have to do a Sal flip, which is up, up, X by default, but you can check yours in your trick selection. You need to get access to this secret area. If you don't have it, you have to grind around the circular item, and the Sal flip over this gap is pretty easy. The final level for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is the cruise ship, and this one's pretty tough. Go to the side where you manual, and here you can start your CO combo. I'm going to miss the M, but go back around for it. I actually found it's easier if I went back for the M, so once I finished up, you can grab the M with a manual, or if you're good enough, you can land on that M how you're supposed to. For the next one here, we're going to have to do a rocket air, which is up, grab, grab, and we're going to have to do it during the crazy lifeboat transfer. So go to the atrium side. Here, we'll have to do a spine transfer, and then go from one lifeboat to another while doing a rocket air, and if you land that, you'll be done. For the next one, we're going to have to do a move called the Cannonball, which isn't assigned by default. You're going to want to go to your skater, go to your grab tricks, find a slot that you don't mind. I'm going to be using up, up, B. And we're going to assign the Cannonball. And then once you have the Cannonball assigned, you're ready to do the Cannonball during a specific gap. From the start, you're going to want to grind the rail to the big fin of the ship. And then you're going to want to jump into the pool from the top here while holding a Cannonball. Land safely with the gap for it to unlock. The last pro goal for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is to collect the 5 energy drinks. Grind down the slide at the start to get your first. You don't have to do these in any order, but this is the fastest route I found. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grind to the fin using the left rail, and we're going to continue that grind past the fin of the boat, and that should get us our second energy drink. And then we're going to want to drop down and go to the manual side of the boat. Here we're going to want to get on top of the balconies to the left. And if we're up here, we can continue a grind on this rail towards our third bottle. And at the front of the ship, the bow, I guess? I don't know. I'm not good with that terminology. At this half pipe here, you can find your 4th energy drink. And then for the 5th and final one, might be the hardest one, you have to go to the lifeboats on the side of the atrium grind. And you'll want to boneless out of the far lifeboat into the middle one. And if you angle it correctly, you should just jump straight into the energy drink, and you're as good as done. Achievement unlocked. We start off now on college for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, and the combo here isn't too bad. It's going to be directly in front of you. You're going to want to start at the C, go to the O, go to the M. You can do that in one grind or split it up with a manual, and then finish off in the quarter pipe. Next, we're going to want to collect the pink elephant. Start by going to your right-hand side. This would be a little more fun if you had to hold a combo, but you don't. You can grind 2 pink elephants via the rails. You'll get 2 on the little transfer. And then up top, you can keep following the path towards the bench. And then around the building, use the piping, go down into the kind of sewer area. Again, this would be pretty fun if we were holding a combo the whole time. You can spine transfer your way through this piping, and then at the very end, you'll finish off. We're then going to have to impress the skaters. There's 5 skater locations around the map. You can quickly impress them with a 900. There are 2 on the half pipe kind of right in front of us as we start. The trickiest one to find is this one inside of the building that I'm going to be working towards next. And then after the building, we can skate out and towards the sculpture. At the sculpture, we can pull a quick move again. And then for the 5th and final skater, we are just going to go in this bowl right here nearby. And then last but not least, we'll have to gap between the floats. The floats will be activated if you've completed the main goals in this mission, which I know you have because you wouldn't be able to be doing pro goals if you didn't. The floats are going to be located at the end of the street on the left, and we do have to wait about 20 seconds for them to come through, and all you need to do is gap between them. So once the first 2 come by, you can gap from the book to the football field, and then once the waves come around, you can gap from the waves to the football field as well, and you'll just need to get both of the transfers to show up, and the notification will show up as well. Moving on to the combo in San Francisco, we'll use the wire hop gap to get up to the high wires, and then we'll just have to do a couple of side transfers and hold a grind all the way to the pier. Not too bad. We'll then have to manual the setup, which is a manual gap. It's located kind of right here by Painter Neil. You'll have to manual the first set, jump over the gap, and then manual the second half. You can use the perfect manual mod if you want. We then want to retrieve the stolen camera, so start by going towards the pier. And at the pier, if you get up onto this boardwalk in the back, you should be able to find the thief that's running away with the camera. If you flip trick near their head, I think, it takes the camera away, and then you can deliver the camera to the guy at the pier. And then last but not least, we will get rid of the rude dudes with the tudes, and we'll have to go to the pier. And in this bowl, there's a guy in the middle with the birds. And if you just kind of run into him, I think 3 times, he'll give you some bird seed. And then we can take that bird seed and use it to get rid of the rude dudes. You'll see the item when you have it available in your inventory on the left. And with the bird seed, we're going to have to go to a specific area on the boardwalk, which is this back section right here. And what you just want to do is grind around. And as you reach them, it should get rid of them. And for the movie studio platinum goal, we're going to have to collect 3 movie reels. We're going to start with probably the hardest one first, so that if you fail it, you can restart. We're going to grind up this camera arm and then go around the building. And that should collect 1 of our movie reels. And then for the second one, we're just going to continue around this bend and find it in the gap right here. And then inside of the building, there is a green screened bowl. And if you go up to this bowl and into it, you'll be able to find a movie reel on one of the edges as you jump. The combo on Alcatraz is nice and easy. It starts immediately, and you'll just need to do a quick transfer from rail to rail, and you might need to do a manual in the middle there to keep the combo. The next pro goal objective requires us to do a sal flip, which is up, up, X by default, but you can remap it if you prefer it to be something different, and you'll need to do it right here with the over the dozer gap. Next, we'll need to do a double heel flip, which is a flip trick to the right, and you'll have to press X twice in order to make it a double, and you'll want to do it during the massive crumbling stair set gap, which is lined up right here. You need a decent amount of speed. Not a bad idea to have your special and do a boneless too. And then the final one for Alcatraz is to listen to Ranger Ron's story. Ranger Ron is available in this sketch right here. And you'll need to hold on until it reaches about 12,000 to 12,500 points. You can enable the perfect sketch mod if you prefer. We move on to the Waterpark combo, starting at the mushroom umbrellas, and then this should take us to the twister slide, and then you'll have to grind on the right of the slide, and then the left of the slide, and then the right of the slide again. Jump out into a manual and grind your way up the pink slides until you get across. I didn't have much speed, so I did a quick loop before I made it through. Next, we're going to have to impress 7 skaters, and for this one, I'm not going to really do commentary throughout the whole thing. There's 7 locations. If you have, like, no bails on, you can pretty much just do a 900 and you won't fall. But if you want to do it kind of more naturally, just do a manual and then tweak that out, or do a couple of whatever moves make you happy. For this guide, we wanted to make it nice and quick, so we're just doing some easy moves for 5,000, 10,000 points, which when you do have some of the game assists on is just a quick 900.
Let's see what you can do. Show me your moves.
We can then collect the 5 tokens for the arcade. One of them is pretty tough, but we'll do it pretty early. Get up onto this building, and from here you can boneless off the side of the roof towards an arcade token. Next, we're going to want to go towards the twister slide, which is this entrance right here. Grind on the left side and jump as it curves to land on top of this building. You can land in a grind if you want, but that's going to be our second and hardest arcade token. The next one is right in the center of the map in the castle. The fourth one will try to take the slide entrance near the arcade. This will take us to the top of the dual boomerang slide. And if you spine transfer your way out of this slide, you can get your fourth token. And then you'll want to go towards the Pirates Bay. Stick to the right of the Pirates Bay, and you should be able to find a grind. You might need to wally up to the grind that leads to the Pirates Boat, and that should be 5 for 5. And we'll also want to get back at Eric Sparrow. To do this, start at the Waterpark spawn, go to the right-hand side towards the giant red bucket. And what we want to do is we want to grind the bucket on the left side. It'll tip over, and we will get our revenge. Our next map is Kona, and for Kona, we're going to need to scare the 4 birds. So if you find the half pipe on kind of the edge of the map and grind the high wire act gap on both sides, that'll be 2 out of 4. You do have to make sure you get to the actual section with the birds on it. And then from here, if you kind of take the like slalom up to the top, there is the triple roller gap to our left. And if we grind on top of that, we'll get another high wire act, but this also saves another pair of birds. And then if you go to this kind of bowl feature, which I do not enjoy using, but if you grind the kind of building here on the edge, you'll get another high wire act and complete the combo. The Shipyard combo is available right at the beginning. It's not too bad. Just do a wall ride into a wally across the gap and finish off your grinds, landing at the end. Our next objective asks us to do an Ollie North, which is down flip trick. You can consult your trick manual if you want, and you need to do it on the rooftop gap. Very easy. Then you want to Judo across the containers. So the Judo is the tweaked out version of the Madonna. So diagonal up and to the right, and then BB. And you're going to need to get this gap at the same time. It's a little tricky to land as the landing zone is pretty small, but just try it out. Then we're going to have to grab all 3 of the vent rail gaps. These can be a little bit tricky to get down all in one run. Our first one here is a grind to a jump and then through the vent. Perfect rail at least makes this a little more manageable if you are struggling. For the second vent gap, we are going to start in this container here, jump up to the blue container, and then from here, if you grind on the left, you can get to the second vent gap. Take that all the way through. And for the third and final one, maybe the easiest one, take the teleporter in the middle of the map, and then where the secret tape is, you're going to want to get that vent rail gap. We're starting to round off the maps. We're in London going for combo. From the beginning, you're just going to want to basically grind your way around the outer edge of the map. There is quite a bit of grinding here, so if you need the help, you can use the perfect rail. The M is at the top of this quarter pipe, and then you'll have to go all the way around the outer edge where Stompy is to finish off the final O. Next up, we're going to have to grind the full Southbank lights gap, and for this, we're going to want to go to the yellow quarter pipes along the edge of the river. And once you start the grind, just carry it all the way through from pole to pole to get the Southbank's gap to trigger, and you're done. London also has 7 pros you need to impress with a trick of at least 5 or 10,000. If you find all 7 of them, you should be able to quickly and easily grab this as well.
Hey, nice deck. Nice going.
Let's see you pull some tricks. Sweet. Let's see you tear it up. Nice.
Last but not least, for London, we have to collect the 5 Stompy plushies. They're located around the map here. There is one on this transfer near the bridge. And then as we come around on the way back on the building, there is our second one. That leads us to our third one, not far from the spawn. You'll want to do a grind and then a jump across the gap. And then for the next one, if you go to the kind of embassy building, jump up there, and on the Canadian Embassy, you'll find your fourth. And the fifth is located at the end of the road. Pretty obvious. The zoo has 5 stuffed penguin locations that you'll need to do with a good score to get the platinum medal. There's one off in this side section to the left of the spawn. You can do a spine transfer if you want to make it a little bit more easy to get out. And then you can find your second plushie in this kind of bowl / half pipe near the middle of the map. Just line yourself up and grab that one as well. For the next plushie, if we exit out and go towards the giant tower, look to the left and go into the enclosure. You can just boneless straight into this third one. Grind your way back to the center of the map. And then here in the very center near that clock tower, find your fourth penguin. Pretty easy. And for the fifth and final one, if you go through the door, you'll warp. And you can just grind on the outside edge to get all 5. Our final level here is pinball, which surprisingly isn't too bad. We're going to start near the green brain bumpers, and we're going to start with the combo, which is the hardest part for sure. And if you come down the pinball machine, you have to basically hold a combo throughout the whole machine and end with the O at the exit. Next, we're going to grind the wire rails top to bottom, so you need to do a grind and get a gap while you do that grind. It isn't too hard, especially if you have the assist on. We're going to go up to the mausoleum and start the grind. You will have to do a transfer from rail to rail here to the left, and then if you hold that all the way down to the bottom, you'll get the gap to show up, which is called Flee the Horde, and that will unlock as well. This next one can be a little bit tough. We'll have to triple kickflip between the flippers. You want to approach from this exact end that I'm approaching from. Triple kickflip, and you'll have to get the flipper jump gap at the same time. Pretty tricky. Last but not least, we'll have to do a 900. This is a special move, which is by default equipped to right down B. While you have your special bar full, you have to do it on this giant ramp at the back right after taking the boosters. Get the lookout point gap, and the achievement and trophy should unlock if you've done all the platinum scores. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it was helpful. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Peace.